I didn't realize Toppo was so savage at the mouth. Watching this episode of Dragon Ball Super, I was like, damn, Toppo. Damn, what do you think you're doing, Pa? He just sunned Vegeta's life, yo. If there's one thing about Vegeta that pisses him off, you know what I'm saying? It's that one thing. Is when people try and basically say he is second to Kakarot. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already accepted that, but it's kind of like when you accept something, but when you hear it, it's like, for example, you know, I'm fat or whatever. You accept that shit, but when somebody calls you that shit, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with Vegeta. It's like when somebody says that he's second to Goku, it's like, you motherfucker. Toppo had me rolling in this episode. Now, I want to jump to something because we made a discussion a couple of days ago regarding this topic, and I did want to bring it up again because as ludicrous as it sounds, and a lot of people in the fandom are kind of laughing at the theory, and it does seem like the fans are reaching, I do want to bring up the fact that neither in last week's episode nor in this week's episode did we see Zeno push the button on hit. And again, it does sound ludicrous, and it's like, oh, that's so, you know, that theory is people reaching. Yes, it absolutely does, and more than likely it's still like, maybe just Toei forgot. But you do gotta mention that because every fighter that's been eliminated, we've seen Zeno press the button. But you also gotta answer the fact that the Grand Prix did say in last week's episode, Hit's eliminated, and we've seen Hit. But like, notice even in the interactions of Universe 6, when Cabba got eliminated at the end of the episode, Hit didn't say nothing. He's just sitting there. Nothing. Not a word. So it is interesting to note, and I did want to bring that up. Nonetheless, as ludicrous as it sounds, this episode was definitely a Cabba episode, and you can kind of tell based on the way it was going that it was going to be, yeah, this is his time to go, because they gave him all the moments. They gave him Super Saiyan 2, which I just got to know, you got Super Saiyan 2, but the Bay Khalifa already did that long time ago, bro, long time ago. Just throwing that in there. But yeah, it was definitely a cool moment to see Cabba versus Mona, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really not a big fan of some of the character designs that Toei has been pushing, like Ribrianne and then Mona. I was like, Mona, what? These kind of seem like some character designs you would see in One Piece. And in One Piece, yo, fuck it, because you're already used to it with One Piece. That's the zany, wacky shit. And Dragon Ball, it just kind of comes off as corny to me, just being honest. Mona came off as corny, but with One Piece, it works again, because that's how One Piece is. Everything is goofy and zany. It can't be cool sometimes, but it's just zany. But characters like Mona and her ability, like, you know, getting over, I was just like, bro, what you trying to be, some corny wannabe Choji or something? Get out of here, yo. So when Cabba did his thing and he went Super Saiyan 2 and busted ass, I was like, good shit. Well, we also got to see yet again the interactions with Vegeta, and nevertheless, yet again showcasing Vegeta's character development, which a lot of fans till this day still hate that shit. They still hate because they love the idea of Vegeta just being an asshole piece of shit. And when you see him being more of a good guy, even though it was teetering the line, which I personally think that's the best way to go about it. If you're going to add character development to Vegeta, you still got to keep in the elements of who he was, because that's who we like, and also people don't dramatically change completely. So yeah, you're gonna get Vegeta saying my Bulma, and you're gonna get him protecting his student and whatnot, and saying he's gonna resurrect his student or whatever, but at the same time he's gonna knee his student in the fucking gun and say, yo, what the hell are you doing? So, you know, it's still keeping it. So I always kind of look at the fans like, okay, yeah, you love the Vegeta, you love the Majin Vegeta and who he used to be, but at the end of the day, that's not him anymore. He's gonna dance for Beerus to save the Earth. He's gonna save his students. So I appreciate it. I think that it does a fine line of showing that he's changed, but he's still an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Toppo throwing the word, which Toppo coming in there, and it definitely seems as though, at the very least in Toei's mind, they really wanted to have it where there's one big guy for Goku, which is Jiren, and then one big guy for Vegeta, which is Toppo. And let's be honest, I ain't gonna lie, for a second there, when I got the idea in my mind that Vegeta might actually try to go after Jiren, I was like, if Goku couldn't do it, come on. As much as we love our Vegeta, it was not happening, bro. So throwing in Toppo in there, good timing. I'm interested to see where that's gonna go. I mean, it looked like Toppo, because if you even remember in the preliminaries, Toppo's nothing to fuck with neither. Toppo is right up there and shit like that. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, it is what it is. The second tiers, they're both basically the second tiers of the universe. Let's see some hands been thrown. And the scene with Goku and Vegeta with their backs to each other, I love when they do that shit as well. Shows the change in both of them, shows their camaraderie, but also in combat, they're working together, and it's a big Saiyan fucking love fest, you know what I'm saying? So good shit there. I do think to a certain degree, they kind of reused something that was done, you know, earlier in the arc when Krillin was kind of already worn out and Frost came in there and eliminated Krillin very quickly. I felt it was the same thing when Frieza did that to Cabba, except Frieza, yet again, just being violent, nasty, showcasing his hatred towards the Saiyans and taking out a weakened Cabba. Now, obviously, or in my opinion anyway, Cabba, this was the best he's looked and the most badass, which I can't believe I'm saying this because Cabba doesn't really come off as a badass. He's a scrawny little whatever. But this episode really showcased that. And then when he was trying to go up against Frieza, I was like, damn. And honestly, to me, I was kind of a little bit confused because a Super Saiyan 2 still shouldn't be really shit. No matter how strong it is, it still shouldn't be shit against, you know, like a Golden Frieza. You know what I'm saying? Golden Frieza is tiers above. So it did catch me off guard a little bit that Frieza had to go Golden for him to get Cabba the fuck up out of there. I don't know if it was just overkill, that he just quickly wanted to get it done. But he even said going into this form for such trash or whatever. So that kind of threw me off guard. Also, we got to dive into the topic that's been touched upon in the past, but we got to do it again. And I think I'll do a full-on video at some given point, even though I've kind of even done a discussion somewhat. But yet again, a big problem people have with this episode is the Universe 6 Saiyans constantly surpassing things that they shouldn't be doing as quickly. A lot of people's problem was Cabba went Super Saiyan 2. It's like, what the hell? Caulifla did it like nothing. And in the original Dragon Ball Z, Gohan had to fucking go crazy to get it. Likewise with Vegeta and Goku, they had to struggle. And these people are doing it. Honestly, I've said it before in different videos. I think there's a very big difference. The Saiyans of Universe 6 had an opportunity to prosper and thrive and grow because they didn't have a tyrant overlord on top of them like the Universe 7 Saiyans were Frieza. And you know, they were wiped out a long time ago. Also, it seems as though a lot of these people, they're proteges. Like Cabba, Caulifla, and Kale, they're all special in their own way. Kale, she's a psychotic nut job that turns into that Broly looking shit. Caulifla, she's a badass protege. And likewise with Cabba, I think there's a certain reason why Vegeta would actually take interest in Cabba. Not just the fact that he's a Saiyan, but also because he has some potential, so to speak. So I think that that's one of the biggest reasons why. Yeah, it does come up as BS sometimes when you look at it. And judging from the preview, which I'll talk about in a different video, it seems as though they're about to take it another step further. But Cabba getting eliminated by Frieza. Yeah, Universe 6 is going down the totem pole. I do think it was interesting that Champa had to take a look and say, yeah, you know, we do owe Universe 7 a couple of favors, and I pay my debts, because he's been talking shit nonstop against Universe 7, but they've been helping them out. So it was interesting to see Champa have some sort of, I guess, gratefulness for Universe 7. As a whole, the episode, honestly, a lot of things happened in the episode. I was surprised because it was like, you think maybe you're going to have one focus fight, but between Cabba versus Mona, then you have Goku versus those little weird aliens, then Vegeta and Toppo, and Vegeta initially trying to go after Jiren and shit like that. It was a pretty action-packed episode. I think, again, the best thing was seeing Cabba kind of going in and Frieza coming in as a snake-ass motherfucker. And I think one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing, was seeing Frieza's true motives revealed. And I'm going to talk about that. Frieza essentially wants to get the Super Dragon Balls to control the gods. So he doesn't even necessarily want to become a god. He wants to control them, which goes back into Frieza initially. He wanted to be the tyrant of everything. He wanted to be the overlord. I'm kind of curious how far he wants to go with that. And obviously he's not going to accomplish his goals. Let's be honest. It's not Frieza Ball Z, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to get there. But I'm kind of curious why he just wants to control them and not become one. Like, he could wish the Super Dragon Balls essentially, hey, I wish I was stronger and had greater powers than everyone, including Zeno, but he actually wants to control them. And I guess that also goes into Frieza's always been like, and I've always explained this in this regard, Frieza's like a mafioso boss, and all of this is a game to him. He could have easily wiped out all those planets back in the day, and he didn't need the Saiyans or any of the people that he had as hired muscle, but he did it just because it's all a game to him. So maybe it falls back into that mindset of Frieza. Again, I'm just kind of like, you could wish for those powers. You don't necessarily need to control these people, but nonetheless, finally getting Frieza's ultimate motive. I think it was kind of foreshadowed for a little bit now within this arc that, you know, he was saying, oh, you guys won't be in charge for long, when he said about Beerus won't be able to talk shit for long, and then saying things about Zeno, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of already was foreshadowed, but we got full clear indication of where Frieza's trying to take this. Also, Jiren, you're just sitting there, bro. I really want, and this is really for another video as well, because it's like a whole different discussion, but we saw Jiren for a little bit in this episode. He's just kind of chilling, sitting down, not giving a fuck. I want to see more of Jiren's actual character, because as cool as he is, and maybe some people will hate me for saying this or whatever, who the fuck is Jiren? You know what I'm saying? If I compare him to somebody like Goku Black, granted, Jiren would body him, you know what I'm saying? Jiren's on a whole other plateau of power. He's pretty much on the level of gods of destruction. Who the fuck is Jiren? Goku Black, or Zama's, is 10,000 times more interesting because of their motives, their goals, and shit like that. We don't know anything about Jiren in this episode yet again. Could have been an opportunity to get a little glimpse, a little foreshadowing, a little word or two. Didn't get nothing, so definitely want more of that. Aside from that, we got a little bit more of Caulifla and Kale in the episode. Them throwing in, and in the end, the cliffhanger of Caulifla, my bae, challenging Goku for a fight, so I'm interested in that. Overall, solid episode. Wasn't amazing, but we did get some progression, and we did get, you know, Cabba got rid of one person from a universe, then he got bodied by Frieza. Frieza's motives, a little bit of a setup for Vegeta versus Toppo. So, some pretty cool stuff in this episode. As a whole, I want to say it was a solid 8 out of 10. Very good. I think the Cabba, you know, Universe 6 Saiyans ascending to these levels, it's a little bit of BS. Also, Mona, didn't really care for her as a character. It was just kind of like, hey, let's get some wacky One Piece looking motherfucker in there. So Cabba has a challenge. I think the camaraderie with Vegeta and Cabba, really nice stuff, showcasing yet again Vegeta's character development, and also Vegeta back to back with Goku, his character development yet again. And some people might hate it, but I think it's great character development, and he's not completely changing. He's still an asshole. He's just a little bit of a nicer asshole. Your overall thoughts of the episode, best part, best moment. What do you think about Frieza's goal? How do you feel about Cabba going Super Saiyan 2? And are you looking forward to some Caulifla versus Goku, baby? Saiyans throwing down? You think I'm not going to be excited? Hello! That's all I have for this review, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.